And welcome back to the drawing board. This is Mark Saxon. Joining me today, Cole Nevins. Cole, thank you for joining us today, and thank you for penciling us in your schedule, man. How you doing?
Mark, I appreciate you having me on the program, man. This is pretty cool. Didn't think a week ago or even on Monday that I'd be getting interviewed. I thought I was doing all the interviewing, but times change pretty quickly, right?
Hey, there you go. How does it feel to be on that side?
I love it, man. I have been on the mic since I was a little kid. So any chance I have to be on a podcast, be on a show, talk sports, I can't complain, man.
I love it. I love it. Speaking of which, let's talk about that, man. How did what inspired you to get into podcasting and interviewing and all that? What started it with you?
I've been in love with sports media since I was 8.5 years old. To keep on the theme of interviewing young Owen for the Pat McAfee show, right? So I started my own sports blog when I was just 8.5 years old. So I was writing first. There's videos of me as a little kid commentating during Red Zone on a Sunday or commentating my friends' football and basketball games while I was playing. So this was a natural born passion that I've had since the start, and I've developed my sports media career from the very beginning. I've been interviewed on TV. I've created content. I've dipped into every single platform imaginable. I've produced content. I've strategized content. This is a path that's a winding road, but the common denominator has always been sports. And I love talking about it. I think it's fun, it's passionate, it makes people happy, and brings me here and brings me to good people that we meet. And this time through TikTok, which is the first.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I think you hit it on the head. That's we got a lot in common already. Did you play any sports growing up?
I did, man. I was a big soccer player growing up, a goalkeeper. So I played for a very
Same,
long time.
same.
Really?
Yeah,
No way.
that's
Well,
awesome. Where'd you play? What state are you from?
so I'm from New York. So I played for the New York Cosmos
Oh
and I
wow,
played for Meadowville, another club.
nice, nice. Yeah, I grew up in a small town in Arizona, so really all I did was play D1 for about 8 seconds until my shoulder went. So that's about that's about it.
Well, further than I made
That's
it. So there you go.
what's your favorite team?
I'm a Manchester United supporter.
You can already see a
Let's
little
see.
bit. I
At
got to
least I'm not.
grow up watching Messi before he was actually Messi, so it was fun. Um, no, that's awesome. I love every bit of that. I love touching on all sports as well. One of my biggest aspirations looking up to back in the day was Stuart Scott, watching him do things, and then obviously now Pat McAfee doing what he does, which brings me to my next topic, man. I'm completely jealous. I got to see some of your content when you were talking to Pat. How was that? Was it a quick interaction? How was he?
It was longer than I expected, to be completely honest. So the backstory behind that was I went to Radio Row this past week as an independent content creator and networker on the business side. I decided Monday night that I was going to fly in on Tuesday morning. So quick turnaround. And I was on Radio Row by Wednesday, which was awesome. And I saw on Twitter that Pat McAfee was doing an hour or did an hour of open media session after his first show on Wednesday. So
Wow.
that's pretty cool. But amidst all the chaos, I kind of forgot about that on Thursday. And I said, let me just stop by McAfee's set. Maybe he's filming an episode. And I see this huge scrum of people. I said, oh my God, he's doing open media again. That's awesome. Because at the first time, I was like, damn, I totally missed out on that. That would have been pretty cool. And I wasn't even planning on going back to his set. But I guess the world attracted me towards there. The world needed to find Owen, so it made it happen. And then I probably saw a big crowd of 50, 60 people in front of me and found a way to wiggle myself through the gaps, found a way to the front. And while I was waiting, I had a few minutes to figure out what I wanted to ask Pat McAfee, who I've been watching since I was in middle school, and I'm 22 years old now. So this is a long time coming. I'm a long time listener, which is why I knew an iconic moment like the one with Owen, right?
Right. Right.
So I'm in line waiting, and I'm like, let's start off with a fun one. Get a smile on Pat's face, get a good reaction out of him. And that was the first one that came to mind, was about young Owen. And I didn't really think about the backstory as if no one ever found him. I just thought, hey, that would be a really funny question to ask him. Then I asked him. He gave an awesome response. I had some follow-up questions that were more business aligned about the sports creator economy, which is the space that I'm currently working in. And then after I interviewed him, I kind of looked it up. I said, has anyone ever found Owen before? And no one did. So I put on my journalism hat and I said, okay, I think we're going to have to go and track this guy down and the dad, Dan from Connecticut. So I did some editing. I put out the post, went viral, over 1 million views on TikTok. I think over 150,000 views on Instagram. But on Instagram was where Owen's father, Dan from Connecticut, commented and DM'd me saying that he was Owen's dad. And the puzzle pieces kind of aligned, because if you listen to the clip, he says, "All right, Dan from Connecticut, what's going on?" So I said, "Okay, there we go." And then we verified it, and then I said I could take it one step further by interviewing Dan and Owen, because I wanted to hear both their stories, right? And Owen's 12 years old now, so I don't think he's doing the solo interview, right?
Right.
So we had the two of them on. It was awesome. Did a quick interview just like this. Squeezed out as many good questions as possible. They are a hilarious, hilarious duo. Oh my God, I could speak to them all day. It was great. And then the next day, put out the clip, and I was very confident that Pat was going to find it. People have been asking me, "Oh, did you think Pat was going to find it?" I knew he would. He's chronically online, and people love this story. People have been dying to hear who this kid is, including myself. I mean, talk about lore. It's been since June 2022 since that call aired on the Pat McAfee show. That's a long time, man.
Especially with
So,
as much content as he puts out.
right? So I posted it, and then within a few hours, Pat found it. And he commented, he reposted on the story, he DM'd me, and it was a really cool moment. But most importantly, it made Owen's day, it made Dan's day, which was the coolest part, in my opinion.
Absolutely, that was awesome. And one of my favorite parts was just how organic. Like you said, you brought him on, and I love the unscripted. I love the raw image and feelings that you were able to bring out just in that short interview. But man, just the organic feeling that they brought to that whole interview, and the cursing still, the strong, that strong passion for sports. I think just that in itself sells it. So like, and they were saying they were Broncos fans, and he wanted to talk about Bo Nix and everything. Did I was trying to find, did you get a chance to kind of dive in a little bit deeper with his Broncos and how they fell out and how he reacted to that?
Yeah, man, he hates Jarrett Stidham. That was my biggest takeaway. So Owen is not a big fan of who he referred to as the backup. Who's the backup, Dad? And he goes, Steady. He goes, yeah, hate him, which was super funny. Yeah, he's not a fan of him, and he was upset. Can I swear on this show? Is that cool with you?
Absolutely, absolutely.
He
We're
is
we're,
pissed
we're
that
raw here.
Stidham was throwing fucking flea flickers the whole time, to quote Owen. So,
Fantastic quote.
right, he had some amazing sound bites, but the the best quote that he had during the episode was, I said, Owen, what advice do you have to the other 8.5-year-olds in the world? And he said, don't be afraid to say whatever shit's on your mind and follow your dreams, I guess.
I love it, dude. Owen's gonna be a rock star one day. I mean, he
It's too
already is,
funny.
though, right?
Already is. Already is. So it was great. They were a fun time. They were super into it, and that was the best part, right? Because I messaged them, and I was a little worried, like maybe after all my research, I missed an interview that they did. Maybe they called in the next day. Maybe there's something I didn't know about, but no one ever reached out to them.
That's
So
fantastic.
I'm happy that I did some good. That journalism is still alive and well in this world, just in different ways.
That is awesome, and like I said, just the passion that obviously we can tell that you have, and that you were able to bring out of both Dan and Owen. One of my favorite interviews, hands down, and I'm glad it was meant to be. I'm glad you were able to find them, and I'm glad they were the same people they were from 4 years ago.
Yeah, man, they were a great time. So I'm excited to follow Owen's journey. I hope now that he can go into school and tell his friends that he's famous, which he wasn't able to do the first time. It seems like maybe him and his buddies are on social media now, so we'll see. But even for Dan, he said he was a proud dad the next morning, walking into work and telling his buddies about what happened on the show. So again, those are just the moments that about the best part about sports, the things that make us smile, right? It's just those
Absolutely.
really, really fun, easy moments amidst all the chaos and the hot takes and the back and forth. I'm all about making people smile. That's the best thing in the world.
Same. Couldn't agree more. And so you got to touch on it a little bit, Pat. DM'd you. What was his reaction when you found him? I mean, what did he say anything out of pocket or anything kind of crazy, or is it just kind of like, hey, good move, good looking out? What was that like?
Oh, Pat was too nice about it. Do you mind if I pull up some of the quotes? I
No,
think.
no. I wish you would. I'm glad.
All right. So the first comment was, let's see if we can find it in all caps. I love this kid. Holy hell! Great work finding him, and shout out Boston Connor getting Owen and Dad ready to represent the great state of Connecticut. Owen's gonna run a Fortune 500 company. And then Boston Connor replies, quote, "Don't be afraid to say shit you want to say. Owen, fair play, my nemesis, but respect," with a salute emoji. And then Pat DMs me, "Thanks for finding him, boss. That was awesome. Cheers, brother." And then he posts on his story, "I think this dude's going to run a Fortune 500 company someday. Incredibly bright at 8.5 and even more so now. Just a young legend with the whole world waiting for him. Good shit at Cole on Sports."
That is awesome. That is a once in a lifetime connection, man. That is awesome to hear.
Yeah, man. Then the next question is, who are we finding next? I might have to go reach out to my audience and say, we got to find the other Owens of the world. I mean, that's one of a kind. I don't know if
Yeah,
we can replicate Owen, but there's got to be some other people that no one's ever followed up with. And they just are these urban myths, these living legends. And maybe that's my next content series is finding these people.
I love that. I love to hear that, and I will definitely be following along because that would be a fantastic little segment to find these people from these sound bites and be able to put faces to the voices and names to those faces and get their real personality, which we all lucked out because Dan and Owen were the shit.
They're awesome,
That
man.
leads that leads me to my next question. I'm glad you brought it up. Your next kind of content goal might be going that direction. Everything that you've just kind of accomplished in such a short time. What is the plan for Colon Sports?
It's a great question, Mark. So the last 2 months, I've been super dialed in on LinkedIn of all platforms. I've become a LinkedIn creator and I've gained a ton of followers, 1,500 followers in the last 2 months, over 700,000 impressions, posting probably every other day, every few days. So that's been my main focus. I've been covering different sports creators in what we call the creator economy, which was a word that Pat McAfee has never heard before. I had to teach him during my interview. As I
Nice.
said, a fancy word for people who create sports content. So I've been doing a lot more analytical and in-depth pieces on LinkedIn. So I wasn't expecting to get into Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and Twitter this quickly, despite me covering the creators on those platforms. But now I've built a little bit of this following. We have some momentum, and I'd be remiss to not capitalize on it. So it is $1 million question right now on what's next. I think a big part about building content is having a niche, but sometimes you post something and it accidentally blows up. And this is the case I have right now. So I think, to be completely transparent, the niche I'm going to go for is me. I want to be the niche. I want it to be about what I find interesting and hopefully what other people find interesting in sports as well. So I have a whole lineup of interviews with other cool creators from the Super Bowl that I'm going to go drop. I'm thinking of other types of content that I find interesting. Like today, I'm a big logo and uniform junkie.
Me too.
That's like my passion. I love it. I know every logo. I saw a guy wearing the Padres logo behind you on a hat last night. I went up to him and said, "Dude, I love your hat." So, nothing like the brown and mustard of the Padres. So
Love it.
I'm a huge nerd when it comes to that. So was thinking like the next video could be talking about the controversy with the Titans' new logo and how everyone's losing their mind over it. But I think it's a good rebrand. So I think I'm just gonna go talk about what I'm interested in and see what sticks, man. To be completely honest, but I know how to make good hooks. I know how to have good production. I know how to write good scripts. So I know how to be passionate and put a smile talking about sports. So we'll see what happens. Could be some interviews as well. It's gonna be a whole collection, and then we'll see what sticks, man. But I don't think I'm gonna be making a career out of interviewing Pat McAfee and the Owens of the world.
I get it. No, but I like that direction. And honestly, what you found interesting the first time around, like you said, really worked out. We all wanted to know what happened to Owen and Dan, and I think you're right. I think you've got that that wherewithal to say, hey, this is what I think is going to work next. And like you said, it blew up out of nowhere. So congratulations on that. I know on our side, we are definitely excited to see where Cole Sports goes, especially after recently emerging. So congratulations. We are stoked for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. And the funny thing about the Cole on Sports stuff was Cole on Sports was the original brand that launched when I was 8.5 years old, August
Nice.
2012. So that's the brand that I represented from then until around December 2019 when I launched my company Phenom, which I still run to this day. And that's been a sports content company. And then Cole on Sports kind of went to the wayside after that. So that's 7 years ago almost. So
Wow.
this is Cole on Sports was a brand when I was much younger, and to see it come into the spotlight now and to see Pat McAfee write good shit at Cole on Sports is just hysterical to me. It's really funny. I joke with my buddies. I said, "Who would have thought that Cole on Sports peaked in 2026 after years of working on it when I was younger and just talking to friends, family, cousins, buddies, teachers, whoever was reading my stuff." So it's cool to see, but I love the name, I love the brand, and it absolutely deserves a comeback.
Oh, absolutely. And not only does it deserve a comeback, it deserves to be a household name next. We're all looking forward.
Maybe it's the What Happened To series. Maybe I'll have to just write a whole bunch of ideas about what happened to, and go with that. That could be a really really fun series to do. So maybe that's the idea. Maybe we're doing brainstorming live on the show.
Love
We're
it.
hitting the
And you
drawing
know
board,
what? Hey,
man.
hey, anything we can do to help you, let us know, and we'll be right there.
Love it. Well, leave a suggestion in the comments of what should I cover next. I'm gonna leave it to the audience, and this is fun. It's like a puzzle, right? To find these people. So, we're gonna bring some modern journalism back. Maybe I'll put on my Pablo Torre impression.
There you go. I love it. I love it. Well, I don't want to keep you too long, but I do want to thank you for your time today, Cole. And once again, super inspiring what you've been able to accomplish. Definitely on my side, got the same goals and aspirations. So awesome. As Pat said, good shit. um, but hey, thanks again for having the time to be on the show. Any last thoughts? Any plugs you want to throw out? Any shout outs? Anything like that?
Well, first of all, thank you. I appreciate you're the first and only one to reach out to me to interview me about this, which is pretty cool. So this has been a fun week overall. Again, there's a happy topic, right? It's lighthearted, it's funny, it's nostalgic, and I'd say the last thing I'll leave maybe some content advice for the viewers. Do stuff that puts a smile on someone's face. Do stuff that's out of the box, that's original, right? Everyone can give a hot take about something. Everyone can break down a story and do a history lesson. But if you can find something unique and something that shows effort, there's nothing cooler than that. I think that's what people appreciated about this. And I think that's what I learned from this experience. Do things that are out of the box, ask things that are out of the box, do what the person next to you isn't doing. So I live by those rules.
Love it. Great advice. Definitely gonna put a few of those notes in my book. Once again, Cole, thanks, man. It's been a blast. Um, been awesome, and congratulations on everything.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
You too, man.